विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगगन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रियै वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we are successfully studying Bhagavad Gita. So we are in the 11th chapter now. We finished 19 slokas. So for those who are joining for the first time, I'm going to cover all these slokas from different chapters actually, so you won't miss anything. This Bhagavad Gita itself should be understood as the complete book, basically as all the chapters, all the slokas we need to understand. There is nothing like some important slokas or important chapter, something like that. This Bhagavad Gita is coming from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna is giving us the knowledge, and this Shastra should be understood completely. So, but one thing, what we are understanding in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking a lot of questions because Krishna in the second chapter itself, Krishna gave the knowledge to Arjuna. That's why contents of the Gita summarized. So that is the title of the second chapter. If we understand the second chapter very well, then more explanations are given in all the other chapters about what Krishna is teaching us in the second chapter. But the three modes of material nature, Krishna didn't touch at all, except in one sloka, Krishna said in the second chapter that Traigunya Visaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavo Arjuna. Nidvandvo Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So there Krishna said that Traigunya, three gunas. That's what Traigunya means, three gunas. Three. That's it. In Sanskrit it is tri. So in English it is three. Traigunya. Traigunya Vishaya Vedan. Nistraigunyo Bhavo Arjuna. But Nistraigunyo. Nistraigunyo means you become free from these three modes of material nature, these three gunas. That's what Krishna said. But in the coming chapters, in the next chapters, actually, even in the third chapter itself, Krishna explained about the three modes of material nature to a certain extent. So what we understand that these three gunas are actually forcing us to do all the activities. Many times we have already covered this particular important fact, the truth that we are all under the control of the three modes of material nature. But because of our attachment to results in this material world, we come under the control of the three modes of material nature. That's it. Because of our attachment to the results. So that's why Krishna is saying that you don't have any right over the results, then why you are getting attached to the results? Karmanyeva adhikaraste, in the second chapter, sloka number 47, we studied very well, very much, and it's a very important sloka, and each and every line is giving us so much of meaning. In fact, Krishna is very, very clearly teaching us that you have a right to perform your duty, but you don't have a right over the results. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadasam. Ma karma palaheturbur mate sango swakarmani. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So then only we are understanding in chapters, other slokas, Krishna is teaching us very, very clearly, we are not the cause for the results of the activities, and we are not even doing the activities. All the activities are carried out by the three modes of material nature, and all the results also are done by, are obtained by the three modes of nature, and all the results belong to Krishna. We want only Krishna, but we should understand that Krishna is very, very clearly saying that karmanyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadasana, means you don't have any right over the results. So that's what we need to understand from Bhagavad Gita. So that way, if you understand, then we will be able to do everything, all the activities, because we have a right to perform our duty. So, of course, karma means it should be niyatam karma. We cannot say that anything what we do is karma. Only prescribed duties. Niyatam karma. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jayohi akarmana. So you perform your prescribed duty. That's what Krishna says. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. So we have a right to perform our prescribed duties. We can do it. We have a right. Adhikaram. Adhikaram means we have the power. We have the authority. We have the right. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. We have the adhikaram. But we don't have the adhikaram on the results. That's what karmanyeva adhikaraste ma palesu kadasana. Ma palesu kadasana means at no time you have adhikaram over the results. That means you have authority over the results. We don't have the right over the results. So that's what Krishna is teaching us. It is not, Krishna is not simply saying that do your duty, don't expect results. Krishna is saying that you don't have the right over the results. That's what Krishna is teaching us. Krishna is not simply saying that don't expect results, because the reason is that everything in this material world, we are not doing anything. Everything is done by the three modes of material nature. So, but we have the right to desire. So that's what is very important. That free will is within our control. It should be within our control. So the freedom to desire. So if we believe in Krishna, if we have faith on Krishna, then if we study Bhagavad Gita, and if we use our free will to actually understand, read and understand Bhagavad Gita, so then we know what is the right thing to do, what is the right thing to desire. So there is no need for us to go to the desireless state, but we can desire, but we should desire only Krishna. That is the main thing. So the eternal life in Krishna's kingdom, Krishna's world. So that's what we should desire. We should aspire. We should go. So in this material world, we are trying to get so many things. We are working very hard. We are studying. We are working very hard, writing competitive exams and trying to get into admissions in very good schools and colleges and doing all kinds of things. We are doing it. So we should put that kind of effort, even much more effort, to gain Krishna's place. That's what is very important. So if we know, if we have to get into some good college and if we need to get excellent marks in maybe the entrance exam, so we will find out where the material is there, how to prepare for it, and then we start preparing years before, and then we will be planning and doing that preparation very much, and so much of effort we put it to gain that admission into a specific colleges. So similarly, we have to get admitted into Krishna's world. That's what is very important. So in order to get ourselves admitted into Krishna's well, once admitted in Krishna's well, then we are not going to come back. If you go to Krishna's well, once we got admission, we need to get that admission letter from Krishna, that we are ready to go to Krishna's well. So once we go to Krishna's well, once we are admitted there, we are not going to come back here at all. So that point Krishna is very, very clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita many times. But how to get that admission in Krishna's well? So here, to get admission in good colleges, so we have to make our resume very strong and very powerful. We have to write great essays and a lot of things. We need to prepare actually. So like that, we should know to get admitted ourselves into Krishna's well. So then how we should be qualified. So that's what is very important. For that, we need to study this Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita is the book to study, to write that exam, to get admitted into Krishna's well, to qualify. A very important qualification is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Faith on Krishna. That's what is very important. So if we have faith on Krishna, we are going to get this knowledge. Just with that faith, this knowledge comes. So then we have to practice. We need to practice. We need to memorize. We need to understand a lot of things. Krishna is saying that one of the important thing, like when you send the resume to the colleges, when you are sending a lot of things, we do like social service activities and this and that, and a lot of things you do it. So like that here, we need to build our resume to get into Krishna's well. We need to focus on, we should not be greedy, we should not be attached to the material sense objects, and we should focus on the other living entities. We should help for the other people. So all such things we need to build our resume actually. So that way we need to spread Krishna's message, Bhagavad Gita. We need to make more devotees. So those are all the things are going to actually be going to hours and hours, and finally we should dedicate our life in Krishna's service. So that means we have no more attachment to anything in this material world. So that's what will be checked. So it will be checked whether we have any attachment to anything in this material world. Do we remember anything at the time of death in this material world? If you remember anything, if you are attached to anything in this material world, so then we won't get admission into Krishna's well, Krishna's place, abode. So that is the permanent abode, and it is the blissful place. So that way we need to qualify. Even if you want to get into some countries where visa restrictions are very, very strict, and you need to qualify a lot of things, they will look at a lot of things. So like that, here to get an entry into Krishna's well, because we are gaining permanent blissful life there. So we are not going to suffer anymore there, and it is full of bliss. So that way in Bhagavad Gita, we understand about Krishna's place also very well. Krishna is teaching us that in this place, in this earth, we are suffering and we are struggling, and understand and realize and simply have faith on Krishna and just follow Bhagavad Gita and submit ourselves unto Krishna and do all the service for the satisfaction of Krishna without expecting anything in this material well. So then we will be ready to go to Krishna's well. So for that reason, it is very, very important for us to study and understand Bhagavad Gita every day, which we are doing it. By Krishna's causeless mercy, we are doing it every day, and we are making very great progress actually. Because when we study Bhagavad Gita, when we listen to Krishna, because these are all noted by Krishna, that we have so much faith on Krishna, we believe in Krishna, and we are doing everything as an offering unto Krishna. So that way we will be able to plan our life. We'll be able to plan each and every minute how to spend, how to focus, how to serve Krishna. All such things are possible by Krishna's mercy. So that way we can actually make continuous and steady progress. Kshanai kshanai uparame buddhyadriti grihitaya atma samstam manakritva nakinchitapi chintaye prasanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti santarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. So that's what Krishna is saying. Sanaihi sanair, sanaihi sanair uparamet. Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. So slowly, steadily, gradually. Sanai means gradually. So step by step. That's what Prabhupada translates. Step by step. Sanair uparamin. Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. So with our intelligence, we should gain the determination. That's what Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. Buddhya means with intelligence. Dhriti means determination. Grihitaya, you get it. So we need to get the determination. That is by intelligence. Buddhya dhriti grihitaya atma samstam manakritva. So with that determination, with intelligence, you get the determination to keep the mind under the control of the self. This is what atma samstam manakritva. Nakinchit api chintayam. So when we are able to control our mind, if the mind is under the control of our self, atma, so that means the mind should not be thinking about anything else in this material world. That's what nakinchit api chintayam. So gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction. And thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. That's what nakinchitapi chinte. That means the mind should think of nothing else. If you do like that, so that means that is the practice. That is the practice we should be able to do. Yatho nischalati manas chanchalamasstiram tatas sato niyam yaitat atman yeva vasam nayet. So atman vasam. So under the control of the self. So from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So that's what Krishna is saying here. Atman vasam nayet. So if we do that, if we are able to keep the mind under the control of ourself with the intelligence gained from Krishna, given by Krishna, because when we serve Krishna, when we are able to surrender ourselves unto Krishna, when we fully depend on Krishna, then Krishna is going to give us the intelligence. Dadami buddhi means I give the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam. Tam yenamam upayantite, by which you can come to me. So that way, at that point of time, if we are able to control our mind, if we are able to keep the mind under the control of the self, so then our mind will be very, very peaceful. We will get a very peace of mind. So that is the way to achieve peace. The way to achieve peace of mind is to control our mind, focus our mind on Krishna, and slowly and get the mind under completely under the control of the self. So that is called prasanta. Prashanta means it is the peace. So prashanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti santarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasam. So upaiti brahmabhutam. So we will go to brahmabhutam. So we'll go to Krishna's abode. So we will become Brahmabhuta. So that means we belong to Krishna's place. So that's what is known as Brahmabhuta. So Brahmabhuta means the souls who live in Krishna's place. So they are known as Brahmabhuta. So Jiva Bhuta means the souls who are living in this material world. So those souls are known as Jiva Bhuta. So when we go to Krishna's well and we live there, so we will be known as Brahma Bhuta. So that's what Krishna is saying, that Upaiti Brahma Bhutam. Upaiti Santa Rajasam. Santa Rajasam means our Rajoguna is completely pacified. It's completely gone. So Upaiti Santa Rajasam Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham. So Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham means it is no sins. So free from all sins. So that's what Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham. That's what Krishna says in the 6th chapter, 27th sloka. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reaction to past deeds. So that is the way for us to go to Krishna's. We need to study Bhagavad Gita, understand Bhagavad Gita, follow Bhagavad Gita. So that way, by Krishna's causeless mercy, we will be able to reach Krishna's abode. That opportunity has come for us. It will come to us. It is there. We are very, very fortunate. extremely fortunate. Because in this material world, if we don't have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, if we don't know about ourselves, then we will be foolishly wasting our crucial this human time. Actually, it's very, very important. It's very special. So we cannot waste. So our this is precious. It's very precious time. So we can make use of it now, because we are getting the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. That's what is very important. The knowledge, Krishna is saying that this is the Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Uttamam, Pratyaksha, Vagamam, Dharmyam, Susukam, Kartum, Avyayam. So that kind of knowledge we are getting. So with this knowledge, we'll be able to go to Krishna as well. That's what is very important. So Yunjanyevam Sadatmanam Yogi Vigata Kalmasaha Sukena Brahma Samsparsam Atyantam Sukamashnute. So when we are able to feel that Brahman, so Brahma Samsparsam, so that Sukam, that happiness, not the Samsparsam with this material sense objects. So Brahma Samsparsam, so that happiness is going to actually Sukena Brahma Samsparsam Atyantam Sukam Asnude. Atyantam Sukam Asnude means we will be able to enjoy unlimited happiness. That's what Atyantam Sukam Asnude. Sukam Akshayam Asnude. In one place, Krishna is saying that Sukam Akshayam Asnude. In the 5th chapter, Krishna says that Sukam Akshayam Asnude means we can enjoy unlimited happiness. Atyantam Sukam Asnude. Atyantam Sukam Asnude also means we can enjoy so much of happiness. Atyantam Sukam Asnude. So that is the way to achieve happiness. We need to get happiness by that way, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that kind of happiness is going to stay with us forever when we get that. It is not flickering happiness. In this material world, all the happiness what we get in this material world, in contact with material sense objects, they are all flickering. They are all coming and going. That's it. Non-permanent appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. That's what the happiness in this material world. That's what Krishna is saying, that dukkayonayayevate. So it is the source of our trust. Now then, whereas in this material world, actually, it is actually both. It is like Sitosana Sukha Dukkha. Agama Payano Anityaga Tam Sitiksasva Bharata. That's what Krishna is saying. So it is like Sita Ushna. So Sita Ushna means it is like heat and cold. And it Agama Apayana. It comes and goes. So that's what Krishna is saying there. So we have to understand very, very clearly the material happiness and Brahma Samsparsam. And then in this material world, whatever the samsparsam what we have is very bad for us. So that's what we need to understand. So in the 2nd chapter, Krishna is teaching us in the 14th sloka. In the 2nd chapter, Krishna is saying that Matra Sparsas. Matra Sparsas tu Kaunteya Sitoshana Sukha Dukkadaga Agama Payino Anityaga Tam Stitiksasva Bharata. This Matra Sparsas. Whereas Brahma Sparsam, we need to feel the Brahman. We need to feel that we are not the body, we are the soul. So all such things are going to happen with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So now we are in the 11th chapter studying Krishna's universal form, Viswarupa, and we finished 19 slokas, and Arjuna is actually seeing Krishna's universal form, and Arjuna is explaining how Krishna's universal form is looking like. So that's what we studied. So in the sloka number 18, Arjuna said that Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam Tvamasya visvasya param nidanam Tvamavyayaga sasvata dharma gopta sanatanatvam purusho matome. So you are Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam. So you are Aksharam, you are infallible, you are to be known. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam. Tvamasya visvasya param nidanam. You are the supreme resting place for this Viswa, for this universe. So you are the resting place for this universe. And Tvam Avyayaga, you are inexhaustible. Saswata Dharma Gopta, so you are the protector of the maintainer of the eternal religion. So Sanatanastvam Purusho Mato, so you are Sanatana, you are eternal. Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryam Ananta Bahum Sasisurya Netram Pasyami Tvam Sarva Deepta Hutasavakram Swatejasa Viswamidam Tapantam. That's what we finish in the 19th slokam. So Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryam. You have no beginning, middle, and end, and you have unlimited Viryam, unlimited power. So Ananta Viryam, unlimited glories. Ananta Bahu, unlimited arms. Ananta Bahu, Sasi Surya Netram. Sasi and Surya are your eyes. That is moon and sun. Sasi is moon and Surya is sun. Moon and sun are your eyes. Pasyamitvam Deepta Hutasavaktram. I see from your mouth the blazing fire. So that's what Deepta Hutasa Vaktram. Swatejasa Viswamidam Tapantam. By the tejas, by the glaring effulgence which is coming by the radiance coming from your body is heating up this entire universe. That's what Swatejasa Viswamidam Tapantam. Now Arjuna is continuing in the next sloka number 20. Dyava Prithivyoridhamantaram hi Vyaptam Tvayaikena Disascha Sarvaha Drishtvaadbhutam Rupam Ugram Tavedam Lokatrayam Pravyatitham Mahatman. Dyava means it is the sky, and Prithivyo means earth. So up to the sky from the earth to sky, and even in between, Antaramgi, Idam Antaramgi. So everywhere, Arjuna is telling that Disascha Sarvaga. Disascha Sarvaga means in all directions, Vyaptam, you are pervading. Tvayakena, you yourself, you are pervading completely. You are alone, by you alone. So that's what Tvayakenam. So you are pervading this entire place, both from the sky to the earth, and everywhere your universal form, your Vishwarupa is spreading in all directions. This is just Sarvaga. So that form is Drishtvaadbhutam. So Adbhutam, it's so wonderful. So Drishtvaadbhutam. Drishva means seeing. By seeing this form is so wonderful. And Adbhutam Rupam. And also Arjuna is saying that Ugram. So Ugram means very, very Ugram, terrible Ugram. So Ugram. So Ugram form, Ugram Tavedam. You are very, Krishna is because Arjuna is getting disturbed by seeing Krishna's universal form. That's what we are going to study in the next slokas, because it is not very pleasing to see actually. So because Krishna is pervading everywhere, and it's very, very, even he said that in the previous one of the slokas, we studied the Durnariksham Samantat. It's very difficult to see. So it's so much effulgence, glaring effulgence, and it's spreading everywhere, and so much radiance coming from this universal form, and it is heating up everything. So that's what Arjuna is saying, that Ugram Tavedam, by seeing this form, this kind of form, Lokatrayam Pravyatitam Mahatman. So this all the three lokas. So this Svarga lokas, that is top level lokas, higher planetary, heavenly planetary system, and this Madhyama lokas and the earthly planetary systems, and Patala lokas, the hellish planetary system. So they are all together like known as three lokas, Trilokam, Lokatrayam Pravyatitam Mahatman. They are all getting disturbed. So Pravyatitam Mahatman. So that's what Arjuna is saying here to Krishna's universal form. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have very successfully studied the 20th sloka in the 11th chapter today. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru.